All right, the crybabies over at Fake News CNN are boycotting the White House Christmas party. Sarah Sanders, well, she's seeing the bright side. She said, quote, "Christmas comes early. Finally good news from CNN." And she was then retweeted by her boss, President Trump, who added, "Great, we should boycott Fake News CNN. Dealing with them is a total waste of time." You can't blame the president. And with coverage like this, for example.
I have a whole lot to say about this president's increasing erratic behavior over the past week or so.
We have an Archie Bunker-in-chief who is disrespecting American Indians and making classless jokes from the podium.
If you think you've had an earful of Donald Trump, check out what's in the ear of a beagle in Britain named Chief. Brace yourself.
Is this president trying to impersonate Hugo Chavez, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Vladimir Putin?
Apparently, the president gets 2 scoops. You know, everyone else around the table gets 1, and no word if there were sprinkles.
At the dessert course.
All right, we can go on and on, especially Humpty Dumpty. That could be a full hour. Now, Trump isn't the first president to have unkind words for members of the media. You may remember Obama didn't particularly like me.
In 2012, Latinos voted in record numbers. The next day, even Sean Hannity changed his mind and decided immigration reform was a good idea. Rudy Giuliani said, "Putin is what you call a leader." Mike Huckabee and Sean Hannity keep talking about his bare chest, which is kind of weird. With respect to Sean Hannity, I didn't know that he had invited me for a beer. His opinion of me does not seem to be very high, but I'm always good for a beer. I'll put Mr. Burgess up against Sean Hannity. He'll tear him up.
Oh, threat of violence? I was never invited to a White House Christmas party during the Obama administration. Not that I would have gone. Here with reaction, former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Really, CNN? Really? Your reaction?
Well, look, I think it was very gracious for the president and the first lady to open up the White House, the People's House, to so many people, the armed services, members of guests, and folks for this Christmas season to see the People's House. It's the First Lady and her team just did a marvelous job decorating it. The video's out there for all to see. And what I think is interesting, Sean, and for people who don't understand, traditionally, at least in the last several years from what I understand, invitations were given to bureaus. And they were allowed to invite, X number of people to the White House Christmas party. And a lot of times those were distributed to television and media executives and on-air talent. What the White House did this year was really go through a arduous process of trying to make sure that the people who worked in the White House media corps, the technicians, the sound people, the lighting individuals, the people who go to the White House day in and day out to work on behalf of these media organizations without the glamour and glitz of being an executive or on-air talent, got invited and got to bring a spouse or a partner or a son or a daughter. And what CNN's decision to do, make sure that these individuals who really probably look forward to going can't go anymore. And you've got an organization like Politico that's out there surveying people on whether or not they'll take a picture with the president. And yet some of that same organization has reporters asking the White House if they can get invited or bring a guest. And so it is these media types, CNN and Politico, that are doing a disservice to the gracious act that the president and the first lady have offered so many of these individuals, not just the on-air talent and the executives, but those technicians that really work hard and labor on behalf of those organizations to get the news and the broadcast out.
I don't know how you put up with their crap for all the time that you were press secretary, to be honest. You have the patience of Job. I remember one year I said to Fox, I said, well, was I invited? And they laughed. And they said, no, you weren't invited. I didn't take it personally, by the way. I used to joke about it.
Well, again, I think that it's always, the way that people are viewing this one now is very myopically. It's always through the lens of Trump, not through the context of, what happened during the Obama years. But again, I'll go back to the fact that this White House, under President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, have reached out and graciously tried to make the White House, the People's House, and the decorations
I never knew that. That's great.
But something that these people can come and share with their family and friends, because so many of these individuals really do work hard behind the scenes and aren't there for their family, and they get to bring them for the first time, and it's a shame that they won't be able to participate because CNN's executives have done this.
I appreciate it. When we come back, I need your help. I have a huge decision, an announcement. Next.